He started blow drying this woman's fringe and it literally just came off in his house.
And you travelled the world doing lots of shows.
Lots. But that was the other thing. I mean, people were smoking in the salon. The clients were smoking in the salon.
With us, you became a global ambassador for Weller.
Yeah, I did a lot with Weller
which,
as well.
You did a lot of travelling for them. And
I went to Manchester. First section he wrapped it around the tongs and it literally came off in his hand. And he was just left there with this curl. She was like, what's going on?
Lebanon you went to?
Yeah, we went to Beirut.
How did they show their appreciation?
By firing Kalashnikovs.
Tell us about those early days, and was it really all about sex, drugs and rock and roll? Welcome to Heads Together. I'm Michael Van Clarke, and today I have a very special guest, one of the elder statesmen of our industry, Simon Bryer.
I like the elder bit. I'm definitely one of the oldest, I think, not the eldest.
Well, you have been around since the 70s.
I have.
You've seen a lot.
I have.
Tell us about those early days, and was it really all about sex, drugs and rock and roll?
That's what I hoped, but it wasn't. It's about hard work. No, it's funny, and I think, one of the questions people often ask me, because I grew up in the north of England, and I didn't come from a background where hairdressing was the most acceptable thing to do. No. Sort of a local sort of market
sort
town
of
in Cheshire.
Type of thing.
Yeah, a little bit. I couldn't dance as well. And, I went to an all-boys school, 900 boys, which for some people might be fantastic, but I thought, I needed to let out some of my own rebellion, I suppose. So hairdressing, for me, seemed to be a rebellious thing to do. And people often say, why did you do it? I said 900 boys going to a salon where it was me and one other guy. It was like, heaven, or it was a way of getting over my fear of the fairer sex, or, being able to talk to girls. So that was the big driver, the I wouldn't say sex part of it, but, the fact that you were meeting the opposite sex.
And not the Girls' World magazines that your dad bought for you?
No, that came sort of later. I think once I started it, you have this impression of hairdressing as being this very glamorous industry, like the shampoo type thing. And I thought, I'll have a bit of that. But once you start, you realise it's really hard work. Naturally, I was the only guy in that intake of apprentices in 1978 at Steiner's in Wilmslow. And, the girls I was working with were just streaks ahead of me. I'd never picked up a hairdryer or a brush or anything, whereas they played around with hair. So once I got into it, I realised that, I actually really enjoyed it. And, I was determined to become a hairdresser. And a quick story, I actually went back to see my first boss about 10 years ago, who still has a salon in Alderley Edge. And he actually said to me, you were the most determined apprentice that I ever had. I think he was basically saying, you weren't actually that good, but you were very determined. That's the way I took it. But and I just really loved it. And I loved the interaction with people. It's not just about the artistry of it all. And that's what I still love about it. It's almost like a full circle. I've gone from standing behind a chair and enjoying clients to standing behind a chair and still enjoying
those clients
in
a deeper way.
Much deeper. I mean, but I have, I've got a great relationship with clients, and I love that. That's what keeps me.
And some of them
interested.
Decades they've been with
you.
you.
Some of them. I mean, there's one guy. He's my sister's ex-boyfriend actually, and I've been cutting his hair since I was 16.
Wow.
I used to practice on him at home, and I still have I still see him. So some of the relationships go back a long way. Yeah, but it was definitely a good choice for me. And the other thing there was quite a lot of resistance to me becoming a hairdresser, especially from my father, who expected me to do A-levels. And, I went to a grammar school, which I had a reasonable education. He just thought A-levels, university, that's what he wanted, because that's what he didn't have.
Yes.
So when I said I was leaving school at 16 to become a hairdresser, he was very disappointed, which made it even better, really. And he kept saying to me, when the baker's surrounded by the dough, he loses his taste for bread. I'll let you think about that one.
No, I'm guessing what he.
Yeah, I said not this baker.
What was that next step from Alderley Edge?
Yeah, I went from.
Down
I was in Alderley Edge in. No, actually, it was in Wilmslow, which is like a very posh suburb of South Manchester. And it was in a store, so it was a bit like a Harrods. It was called Finnegan's at the time, and there was a Steiner salon upstairs. So it was very old-fashioned. I mean, Steiner's had been going since the 30s.
Right.
So Steiner was probably like the Sassoon of the 30s and 40s. You know, he was very influential.
Yes.
And it had become this chain of salons, and they were like salons on cruise liners.
Huge on cruises.
Yeah, and that was
He
the step.
dominated.
Yeah, completely. And it was an apprenticeship that was available when, I went to the local, what do they call it? Not the dole office, but, like the recruitment office. What do they call them then?
Yeah, what was it called then?
Careers advice, I think, or something like that.
And the unemployment centre.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And
Job
I said,
centre.
Job centre. Yeah, I want to be a
job
hairdresser.
centre.
And they said, right, there's 2 apprenticeships. There's one here and there's one here. I went along, and because I was the only guy that sort of turned up, I mean, they said, yeah, we'll take you on, even though I was a little bit late. And that's where it started. And I did, a proper apprenticeship. You literally started at the bottom. And I loved it. I absolutely loved being an assistant or an apprentice because it was a lot of fun. And at the time, there was a whole gang of you, and you'd social. I mean, as you know, you'd all socialise together. You'd have a lot of fun together. It just sort of took over my life, really. And then I went to Alderley Edge. So I moved from Wilmslow to Alderley Edge to work with the guy that was the manager, the one that I mentioned earlier.
Was that after completing the apprenticeship?
Yeah, I completed the apprenticeship.
Was that 3 years?
I think it was 2 years. I know it's 3 years. I think I was 2 or 3 years, around that sort of time. There was sort of like exams that you had to pass. And I mean, to be honest, you from one day to the next, it's like, oh, right, you're a stylist. There you are. There's a column of clients. And I had no idea what I was doing. None.
Daunting.
It was sort of the exuberance of youth. I thought, yeah, I can do that. I wasn't scared. So you just dive in. And you'd be chopping the hair off and doing all sorts of things. And you didn't really know what you were doing. I didn't really start to learn until I started with clients. I mean, it's not the way we do things now, which I totally agree with. And then I worked there for about a year or so. And I thought, well, Alderley Edge is not necessarily the centre of the universe. My family originally from sort of the London area. I thought, London's calling.
Okay.
And got the Hairdresser's Journal, looked at the back, and there were various jobs advertised. It wasn't no online at all. And I applied for a job, and they said, yeah. And it was in Oxford Circus, literally in Oxford Circus, 3 floors up. Okay. And it was a salon called Wish, which was very, very different to any salon I've ever worked in.
And you travelled the world doing lots of shows.
Lots.
Was it always with the Rizzos, or did you start to do them on your own?
Mostly with a team. And when I say all over, and it was in the heyday of education in the 80s. It's changed now because of Zoom and things like that. I mean, people still do travel, but not half. I don't think anyway, not half as much as they used to. Because you'd be employed by a product company in Italy or America. And, their clients would be so like, if you buy so many products, we'll give you access to these London hairdressers coming over, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we went, literally everywhere. I mean, it felt like it. I mean, I'd go to America for the weekend. And I was very much the bottom of the rung, but I was still part of the team. You'd go and do these big shows, the Big I Am, and it was all fantastic. And then you'd come back to the salon from the airport straight into the clients.
Right.
Yeah, there was none of this, you can go home and have a sleep. I'd be sleeping in the office, or, it was a bit like that. And it was a fantastic period, creatively, confidence-wise, and it's hard to, it's almost like somebody else's life when I think about it now. It's hard to believe, if I was put in that position now to do what I used to do, I'd be absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
But I used to just do it.
And it happened.
Yeah, it just happened. You had no choice. If you're standing in front of 500 Japanese people and you make a mess of it, you just don't have the choice to do that. But yeah, we did, Japan, Singapore, everywhere.
And
anyway, I
then
can't
latterly,
remember.
you with us, you became a global ambassador for Weller.
Yeah, I did a lot with Weller
which,
as well.
you did a lot of travelling.
Yeah.
For them, and
Yeah, I went to Manchester.
I think you went further than Manchester.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, I did. I did. I used to do not as much, but I did. Yeah, we developed that sort of relationship, and I got more into a consultancy role with them when Procter and Gamble took over.
That's right.
And that was great because you didn't have to really do any hairdressing. You just had to be the voice of the industry, which was, interesting.
You did a fair bit in Europe and some in the Middle East.
Yeah, Europe. Went
Was
to
it Lebanon. You went to?
Yeah, we went to Beirut.
That's right. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. The bit
How
I
did
remember.
they show their appreciation?
By firing Kalashnikovs.
That's right.
It was a little bit like,
I
not quite like
remember
that.
you told me.
I was a guy. It was a very odd audience. Put it that way. It was like walking onto the set of The Godfather, and it was a very male-dominated audience, and they had very much wanted you to impress them, but I'm not sure if we did. And the guy that was helping us, who was a German guy, he said, "Look, whatever you do, don't ask them to fire questions at you because they'll really try and put you down."
Right.
And it was just silence. So I just walked to the front of the stage and I said, "Has anybody got any questions?" I was provoking them, really. And it was bonkers. It was bizarre. I mean, we got out alive. It was fun. We had some great models. I'm not sure how much they appreciated what we did. But
the Lebanese hairdresser is in the Middle East, sort of set apart.
Yeah.
So like in Dubai,
Yeah.
they talk about, their hairdressers from, Beirut.
Yeah.
Like that's the kudos.
Yeah. Well, I used to work with, when I was at Sandritz, there was an Egyptian guy, a Lebanese guy, and a Syrian guy. They didn't quite fit into the Sandritz vibe, but they were there to do clients, and they used to do these, big bushy blow dries.
Yes.
And they would tamper with the dryers to make them like extra hot. And I'm not joking.
Like
the
sort
salon,
of block the vents.
Yeah, you'd have somebody coming in with that very sort of Middle Eastern frizzy hair, and they'd go out with hair looking like glass. But that was with a blow dry, not with irons or anything like that. But the salon would be full of smoke. And I remember
burnt.
Really burnt. I remember one day I think his name was Hassan. He was a lovely bloke. He started blow drying this woman's fringe, and it literally just came off in his hands. I'm not joking either.
Oh my God!
Another quick story. When we were in Beirut, I went with Luke.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And we were doing this curly look, and he was great with tongs. And they gave him a set of tongs that they tampered with that was so hot, right? The first section he took on this is a beautiful model. He wrapped it around the tongs, and it literally came off in his hand. And he was just left there with this curl. She was like, "What's going on?" We go, "Oh, nothing." Because the thing is, they just literally off and on.
That's
it was
terrible.
it was so different.
Terrible.
Anyway, so yeah. But yeah, I travelled a lot. Lots of fun experiences. Mostly fun, to be honest, and creatively really exciting. The 80s were, an era of. I hate to say it, but you didn't. It was about the haircut. It wasn't really about whether the client or the model really liked it very much. We'd have a few models in tears. I said, "Well, I've just cut your fringe off. What's wrong with you?" I mean, and I was quite nice to them. I would not do that, but I worked with people that were just like, "You're a model. You're going to have a haircut. This is about me, not about you."
Yeah.
And things have changed a lot. And I think during that period, I realised that I did get to a point where I thought, I'm doing things and I really don't like them. I'm really not. I don't think they look good. I don't think. I call it, and this sounds a bit odd, but I sort of hair porn. It's a bit like hair for hairdressers. It's a bit like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh,
Just to make a statement,
yeah,
be
yeah,
dramatic.
Yeah, you show a client a picture of an 80s haircut, they're going to go, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just no relationship to. So it was just. I think it's
like
changed.
The person was irrelevant.
Yeah, it was about
It
the
was
haircut.
just about
it was
the
just
haircut.
about the haircut.
Plonked
It was
on.
about impressing your audience. And I started to feel a little bit uncomfortable with that. And I think things have changed a lot. You know, things have softened and they're a lot more feminine. And, you know, it's not. I think every era has those periods, but it was fun. It was really nice to break all the rules and travel and do all those things. Yeah.
What was that transition in your last sort of year at Sam Riz before you ended up with us?
I felt like I'd done it. I think I thought about this quite a lot, and I had a lot of opportunity and a lot of what perceived success, I suppose, because, you know, people look at you from outside and they're like, oh my God, you know, you must be amazing. You're traveling all over the world and you're being met by a limousine in New York and
long hair, looking like Daniel Day-Lewis, film star looks.
Loincloths, you know. And it was, I just thought, but the reality was that I was earning no money, you know, living hand to mouth. And I thought, I started to get bored with it and I felt uncomfortable with it. I think it was something I wanted to pursue, but in a slightly different way, which we managed to do with Weller and various things. But yeah, I just felt like I'd done that and needed to move on. And maybe I didn't realise how much opportunity I'd had. I had a lot of perceived success early in my career. And I don't think I realised how lucky I was. But as I say, it felt like somebody else's life. If I think about that time and I think it's just not me anymore.
Yeah.
But because I'm much more mature. Not
but
really.
Still a big move to, and also a different part of London.
Yeah.
You know, you were in Knightsbridge.
Yeah, I was in the West End. I was in Brook Street.
Oh, you were in Brook Street.
I was in Brook Street.
Okay.
Then we moved to Knightsbridge.
Yeah.
So we were in Brompton Road.
That's right.
And then moving back to the West End.
Coming back to Marylebone.
Yeah, it was quite. I mean, it was really different.
And also, Marylebone was not a trendy place at that time. It was the middle of the recession, 1991.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I mean, I remember I was put in touch with you by somebody, and I phoned you up, and you went, "Who?" Anyway. I said, oh, yeah. They said, come in and have a chat. So I thought, okay, I'll go and have a chat. So I came over to the Salon and I walked up to the Salon and I walked past the Salon and I had a look in. I thought, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Very
just
different.
It's so different, so different. And I thought, come on, don't be so stupid. You know, you're a big boy. You can go and talk to someone. So I thought I went back. And that's it. The rest is history. But I think we went to the pub. Yeah, I think so.
Classy.
Yeah, no. But then you said, "What's your 5-year plan?" I was like, "I haven't got a 5-minute plan. I don't know what a 5-year plan is. I don't get home tonight. I don't know." Yeah, it was very different, and it took me a while to be honest. It took me a long time to settle in.
It's a transition, isn't it?
And it was such a different place.
Different.
Well, yeah, it was about 6 of us, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, it was totally different to how it is now. The layout, the staff, everything. But I realised that it was a sort of a transitional period.
There was probably only about 8 of us at the time.
I think
8, 10 of us, if
even
that.
less. I think
less.
It was me, you, Tina, Francis.
Maybe half a dozen, 6,
half
7.
a dozen, 7 or 8. Yeah, maybe 8 people. That was the other thing. I mean, people were smoking in the salon. The clients were smoking in the salon.
Yeah. Can you remember that? And
yeah.
I didn't encourage it from the day we opened, and we very soon moved it to only in reception.
Yeah.
But I remember as an apprentice, one of the things you were trained is you always had to carry matches. Yeah. And if a client took the cigarette out, you had to be there to light it.
Yeah.
And then blow dry their hair while breathing all the smoke in.
Or I used to say, can I have a bit? I did do it with a couple. But yeah, it was very different. I mean, it's moved on. It's like a different...
But the idea that, through the course of a blow dry and a couple of cigarettes, the hair would actually just stink of smoke.
I know.
But everything smelled of smoke.
Everything. It did. I mean, it's like the tubes. You used to have the smoking carriage. Yeah, and it's
You've developed your skills, in a different way. I think
Yeah.
much broader as well.
yeah,
You've got a clientele that love you.
yeah,
You've been an inspiration to the young ones coming through.
sometimes.
In good ways and sometimes maybe not so good ways, leading them astray.
Yeah, no, I don't do that anymore.
But no, I think
After
it's
the
been a
court
very
case.
colourful period. Let's wrap it there, Simon. Thank you very much, and we will continue on another episode.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.